Yes. So
This meeting is being recorded.
I have a co-chair, and Jill is the civics education coordinator that works with me. And then I also have people who head up the voter registration drives. And I also have someone who coordinates the ballot issues presentations. So I have a lot of help. And currently, Jill and I are working on a sharing our civics education project that we did last fall. And we had a Zoom meeting this morning with other leagues in the state of Colorado. And we're going to have another one this afternoon at 6:30 to share the project with them.
Thank you and welcome. And Duncan.
I am co-chair of Voter Service for Denver. My co-chair is Jeanette Scotland, who I imagine a lot of you know. She's at the vet with cats at the moment. And that was kind of important. So we have, goodness, she's been doing this for a little bit longer than I have. I've been co-chair for about,
bless you,
3.5 years, I think. And we have just this year formed a voter service committee to kind of decentralize some of the jobs, because both of us have felt overwhelmed in the last couple of years, and going into the municipal elections next spring, we wanted some help. And also we're kind of hoping to get people up to speed so we can retire.
Always the goal.
Yeah, the 2020 election took a lot out of us. But we're working on getting into some of the high schools, which has been more difficult than you would think. We are continuing our voter registration and voting in the jails project, which I really recommend if you can work with the multiple entities that have to be involved in that. We do more voter registration there than any place else, and they are very appreciative. So it's one of those things that actually feels really good to do, as long as we don't catch COVID in the process. So that's where we are, I think.
Okay, well, thank you. And maybe somewhere down the road, we can talk a little bit more about the how you go about doing the voter education and registration and things in jails.
It's a challenge, but it's worth it.
Okay, well, thank you. Let me see, I'm gonna go to, boy, people are jumping around here. I was gonna go in this nice order, but anyway, who's Joan? Who's Joan's iPhone?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hi, my name is Joan Chun. I'm with the League of Women Voters of Pueblo. I joined on the board last year, and I've been helping with Vote 411. I'm also learning the ropes, and I know that this year we're going to try to work more with students in the area.
Oh, excellent, excellent. And I think that's another topic that several people have mentioned to me, that I think we can help each other and share information on what we're doing as far as working with students in the schools. Thank you. Molly.
Thank you.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. What did
You're
you want?
on.
Okay. You want to know what we're doing?
Well, I want to know who you are and which league you're from, for sure.
Oh, okay. I'm with the Pikes Peak region. And we have a large committee, but few who actually do work. So we're trying to invigorate our committee. We've got several really good projects going, and one with the high school. We're going to try and have a media contest with the schools that have a media program, and let the kids design a program to get other kids to vote. And they'll have to do some research on voting patterns and that kind of thing. So we're kind of excited about that.
Excellent. That sounds good. We'd like to hear from you more once you get things going.
We've
Thank
got
you.
several other things. I don't know whether you want to know all that we're doing or just a few things.
I think just a few things. We got quite a few people, so we got a lot to talk about today. So, but thank you.
Okay.
Let me see. Joan Chun.
You just did, Joan.
Oh, I did. Oh, okay.
I mean,
saw her.
if you'd like to say hi again, Joan, you're very welcome.
Yeah, you can. Okay.
We're really
Hello.
glad you're here.
Ruth Nuremberg, I think you're from Pueblo, but say hi and introduce yourself.
We're too busy looking at her chest.
I'm Ruth Nuremberg, president of the Pueblo League, and I'm sorry I'm late. It just happens sometimes.
That's all right. We're just getting started. You haven't
Okay.
missed anything. Okay, I'm sorry that you're in such bad shape.
I wear this shirt to the gym.
Oh,
guess it
okay.
lasts.
Oh, I see. All right, good. Well, everything hurts, but I don't think I'm dying yet. Ann Brennan.
Yes, thank you for putting my label on there. I am a co-chair for Voter Services. I've only been in the league a year. Last year, when I first jumped in, I just helped on publicizing the forums that we were doing. And then what do you know? I get roped into being a co-chair. I don't see my co-chair here. His name is Eric Nyquist, and he's awesome. We've done some of the things that people have mentioned, but we would like to hear more about the prison outreach, because that's something that's on our list. And we're very focused on trying to reach out for diversity, because we do have a fairly large Native American population and some other ones that we really haven't done as good of a job as we hoped. And that's one of our goals. So I'm here excited to hear what other people have to say.
Thank you very much, and thanks for joining us. Brenda Freeman.
Yeah, I'm Brenda Freeburn from Gunnison. I am not the Voter Services chair. In fact, we are currently without one. And so I just found out yesterday that I'd be attending this. I'm actually the webmaster and advocacy and action. So I don't know how much I'm going to be able to contribute. Hopefully I can gain a lot, but we're probably going to have this a team effort this year that pretty much just divide and conquer with the leadership team to take over Voter Services.
Okay, well, that's a good approach, and share what you can do, prioritize it, and I guess do what you can with who you have.
Yep.
Thank you for joining us. Carol Brown.
Yes, I'm Carol Brown. I'm actually the Vote 411 coordinator.
Okay.
Our Voter Services director will be Emma Pillar. She's working, so I have a feeling this was maybe a bit early for her, but I'm covering for her. And the actual voter outreach person is Piri Jensen. And they are starting to learn the ropes and step up and do all that kind of stuff. So we have the voter outreach and Vote 411 covered. And we are also very interested in outreach to jails and prisons. We think the Boulder County Jail would be a prime place for this. We are reaching out to our Spanish-speaking community here in Longmont and Lafayette, and students also. We've been in contact with the Boulder County clerk and will be working with them to do some student outreach.
Excellent. Sounds like you have a lot of activities and things going, and also things that you could help probably share with us to help us get some of those things going as well. So thank you. Robin Converse.
Hey everyone, I am the voter service chair. I have a committee and loosely structured in that a lot of us are at that age where we're either traveling for work or traveling for family. And so whoever's around and can do X, Y, and Z at a certain time, that's what happens. And a lot of times it's me, and then I have people on the sidelines that are helping me, or they're captaining a certain project, but it's pretty fluid. Listening to you while I'm thinking maybe there's a different way to do this, but I don't know. Our efforts of late, we're really trying to reach out to the Latinx community, and it's starting to work. We've gotten some good connections with folks in the community, and also because we're also in Larimer County, we hope to be partnering with them with the upcoming elections. I'm not sure how, but I'm here to learn. So thanks everybody for what you're saying.
Oh, good. Well, thanks for joining us. Thanks for helping out with voter service, however you can do that. That's what we're all about. So I say, do what you can, prioritize it, and recruit a lot of people to help. Let's see, next time, Scott Hartman.
My name's Scott Hartman. I've been the voter service coordinator here in Chaffey County, or up there in Chaffey County, for the last 7 years or so. I'm also the Vote 411 coordinator, and I am trying, like Ann Duncan, I'm trying to have a committee come on to take my place with the voter service functions. I think we were the first league in the state to do the candidating forums, and that was pre-COVID, of course. And now we've been doing Zoom forums, and I'm concerned that some of the citizens are getting a little tone deaf from those, and it seems like our numbers are down from that on those. We also do voter registrations. There are 3 high schools in the county, and we go into those schools with the help of the county clerk. We have I'm sort of the only committee of one, but I have a great group of volunteers who always step up when it's time for a forum, or especially with the candidating, when we need a table monitor at every table, up to 7 or 8 different monitors. So that's what we're doing here in Chaffey County. And like I said, I hope I'm not here next time.
Well, thanks very much. And thanks for all the work you do down there, especially over the years. And I know that you have a lot to share that could help some of the new voter service chairs as well. So thanks for being here. Mariana Young.
Hello, everybody. I'm the president-elect for the San Luis Valley group. We're a fairly new group. We're probably still becoming operational. And I'm here mostly to listen and see what kinds of ideas we can get for our group to increase registration down here. And I know that Suzanne DeVore is also on this Zoom phone call. And I was thrilled when she volunteered to step up and be a co-chair of our non-existent voter services committee, but now will be in existence. So I will let Suzanne say whatever she wants to, but thanks for all the great ideas, you guys.
Okay, and thanks for joining us. And yes, San Luis Valley is a new league, but they're working towards becoming a league of their own. And I was really pleased when I got the email that Suzanne DeVore decided to step up to help them with voter service. So Suzanne, will you introduce yourself, please?
Hi, I'm Suzanne DeVore, and thank you, Mariana, and thank you, Barb. And we are brand new, and we have a lot to learn. And I welcome helping other people put on candidate forums. I know last election cycle 2 years ago, we had a great one for our congressional district, and I think that was put on by La Plata, and I want to thank them. So I hope we can work with others and learn a lot, and then get up to speed ourselves. So thank you for this opportunity.
Hey, you're welcome, and thanks for stepping up to help with an important area of league. Donna Nielsen, did I call on you? I'm getting lost in the shuffle here, but just in case.
No,
oh, good,
actually,
good. I recognize your name and you.
I just actually just kind of got sat down. I'm joining you all late. I had a previous commitment, but I'm mostly here to listen and see where I can help, since I'm really the facilitator for the Gunnison group. And but you know, we all pitch in. And so I need to know what's going on too.
Great.
See
Well,
where
thank
I
you.
can help.
Good.
So,
Thanks for joining
thank
us,
you.
Donna. Karen Groves.
Hi, yeah, I'm also here mainly to listen. I'm with Jefferson County and Kath Perone. I don't know if she's spoken at this meeting yet, but she probably knows a lot more about what's happening than I do. Looking forward to, I've heard people talk about going to the high schools, and we have done that before years ago. So, you know, I would look forward to doing that and trying to organize our units to do something like that in Jefferson County.
Great. Thank you.
The big thing with registration in Jefferson County is our elections department has a whole team that travels around the county and does registrations. I don't know if any other county has that with their elections department. So we backed off big time in JeffCo in doing registrations, because every time a senior housing or a high school wanted a registration, we contacted the elections department and they sent their team. So registration in JeffCo is kind of not a big issue. Where we have a big issue is local election turnout for voting. It drops substantially from the general elections, local school board elections, metro districts, special districts, stuff like that. JeffCo, the voter turnout is extremely low. So compared to the other election. So, you know, in the past, what we've done is we've really focused on reaching new residents, the food bank. We did a big, huge outreach last year with messaging. We called it the Circle of Five.
Oh, yeah.
And what we did is we did a social media blast to where every week we put out a message with a graphic to all our members and said, share this with 5 people outside a league. And so we had a huge social media campaign for the last election to get people out to vote. And we're hoping to do that again this fall. So we'll see, but that Circle of Five really worked. And then we did that in conjunction. We did that for voter education, but we also had a Circle of Five for advocacy. So for the ballot issues, for the league's position, for the ballot issues, which I know we're not talking about on this call because this is voter service, but for the advocacy side, we did messaging too, and we used that same Circle of Five, and it helped.
That's a great idea. And so I think I have GOT, which is Get Out the Vote, GOTV on the agenda, but that's certainly a very easy way to work on it. And I do think not only registering voters, but to get voters to turn out to vote is the other big piece of that. So great ideas. And Kath, while you're here, why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah, I apologize for being late. I am so sorry.
Oh, we just got started. We got plenty.
Okay.
You're okay.
We're getting ready to leave out of town tomorrow, and I'm not used to packing.
Oh, I get that.
It's been a long time. So I got carried away and realized it. So I apologize. But I'm the Vote 411 coordinator for the State League of Colorado. I support all 18 counties across the state. If there's a league present in that county or overlapping counties or like Estes Park area or Pikes Peak area, I support that local league in getting all of their election information on Vote 411. And either I input it myself or I train individuals within the team to do it. Scott, there's a lot of people on this call that I've worked with for a zillion years. So Scott is one of them. Carol Brown is brand new to Vote 411. She just started last year with us. Robin is my Estes Park coordinator go-to, and we have Estes Park election information up on Vote 411 right now, along with Larimer County. Ann Thompson and Annette DeMartine are currently active on Vote 411 for their local elections currently. So we've started already this year.
All right. All righty, off and running. I'd like to hear that. Thanks, Kath. We'll come back to you in a few minutes when we finish up with introductions.
Cool.
I think the next person I'd like to introduce is Chris Humphreys. She's a co-chair with the voter service up here in the state board. Chris, why don't you introduce yourself, please? Do we look, Chris?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, I'm Chris Humphreys and I'm the chair on the state board, and I'm also Denver service. This is my first year doing this, and I'm so glad you all are out there to help me, because me and Barb, we're gonna get it going. So thank you all for being at our meeting and helping us get the push off going. And
Okay.
if you all know how to reach us.
All right. Thank you, Chris.
You're welcome.
And I guess we'll get to the support team now. Karen Sheik is our current president. Karen, would you like to introduce yourself in case people don't know you?
Hi, I'm Karen Sheik. I'm currently the president of the state board, and I am in Montezuma County, which is in extreme southwestern Colorado, where I live in Cortez. We're about 50 miles west of Durango, for those of you who don't know where Cortez is. So it's nice to see so many of you here this afternoon.
Okay, thanks, Karen. Beth Hendricks, our executive director.
Hi, Beth Hendricks, executive director. Thanks.
Thanks, Beth. Thanks for all you do to help us get going and supporting us. And is Laura available to say hi? Laura Baker.
Yes, I am. Hi, my name is Laura Baker, and I am the operations manager for the League of Women Voters of Colorado.
Okay, thank you. She's another part of our support team and is going to keep track of us. So thank you, Laura, for all your help and support as well. Is there anybody I missed? I don't think so. I'm hoping not. Anyway, without any further ado, we're going to go on to the next item on the agenda. We mailed you an election calendar, and I will just say it's kind of the streamed down version of the Secretary of State calendar. Our past voter service chair, Jerry Cummins, always used to send kind of a streamlined version of the Secretary of State calendar with important dates on it that it's nice for voter service chairs to know. Kath has one that just goes right to the point that tells us as well what she's doing with Vote 411. But I use this calendar to plan my voter service activities, to make sure that things are, like candidate forums and ballot issue presentations and things are done before the ballots go out. I use this and I make sure all the people that go out and do voter education and voter registration tables have some key dates so that they can inform the public of, deadlines that they need to know, or when elections are coming up or when the ballots go out. So, and also there's a couple other key dates. I think we put Making Democracy Works Day in there. I put National Voter Registration Day. So we may add some other key dates as we go along to make sure that you can plan and coordinate the kinds of activities that you want to do in a timely way. I don't know if there's other people that use it in different ways. If you do, let us know. Does anybody use it differently than some of those ideas? If not, we sent that out with the email, so you should have a copy of that. And now, without any further ado, I'll introduce Kath Perone again to give us some updates on what she's doing with Vote 411 and if there's anything she wants us to do. And we put swag down, Kath, because we need to know how to get bookmarks or, things that we can help promote 411. And you've helped me with public service announcements and things. So maybe touch base about some of those items as well.
There we go. I found my voice. first off, just a heads up, June 6th or June 10th, I'm thinking the 10th, is going to be our live date for the primary elections for Vote 411. And pretty much all elections statewide that have a primary contest is going to be on Vote 411. And you know, in the state of Colorado, we have an open primary, which means that unaffiliates can vote in the primary. And last time we had this, 170,000 unaffiliated voters voted in the primary. So it's an untapped resource here in the state of Colorado that really can provide both parties, Democrat, Republican, and unaffiliated, information about primary candidates. Typically, the local leagues don't do candidate forums for primaries. We kind of stay away from that and let the parties handle it. So Vote 411 is a great alternative. If a primary candidates come to you and ask for a candidate forum, just say, you know what, this primary election, we're using Vote 411, our online voter resource that's available to all voters 24/7, and it's easy to use. So, you know, those invitations will go out mid-May to the candidates.
Can I interrupt for a quick sec? I apologize. But going back to your comment about unaffiliated voters being able to vote in Colorado. Yep, this is true since 2016. I hope you all know that our Secretary of State was recently sued by a group of people trying to stop that. That case was dismissed, and our own Brenda Freeburn right here of Gunnison, outside of the league, submitted an amicus brief for that and helped to get that thrown out. So yay, Brenda.
Yay, Brenda.
Woo! I didn't actually submit the amicus brief. A lawyer submitted it on our behalf. And the only reason was because the complaint included a letter to the editor that I had written. And my letter was exhibit 1 of the complaint. And so I was contacted by an attorney saying, hey, you might be able to intervene in this, and I want to help. And we ended up filing an amicus brief. So it was kind of exciting, and thrilled that the case was dismissed.
Yeah, it worked.
Yes. Power won.
I tell you, defending democracy every single minute.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, and just I will just add, I think the unaffiliated are going to come out in force. At least we hope. We've been again outside of the league. We've been on sort of a letter writing campaign to inform unaffiliated of their right.
And what's cool about Vote 411, I know I live and breathe, I don't have a tattoo, but I live and breathe Vote 411, is that when you go into Vote 411, you put your address, during the primary election, it'll say, do you want a Democratic ballot or Republican ballot? And you choose, and then it'll bring up that ballot. But you can go back in and choose the other one. So you can look at both sides and see. So if you're an unaffiliated and you're not sure, do you want to cast a ballot on the Democratic one or the Republican? Vote 411 gives you that clearance to do that. You just, when you do go in to Vote 411, you do have to pick one ballot because the system isn't going to combine parties and present you with everything at once. That's too confusing. So
but that's probably good to educate people who are using 411 to say that you can get both. You just have to come in and go out and come back in again.
Yeah, you just choose it back and forth. It's pretty cool. So that's like the primary. The voting service center and primary and polling centers open on June 20th. Dropbox is open on the 21st, and then voting is June 28th. So by the end of June, we will be done with that.
Kath, can we just step back? You were going to say when the invitations went out. You said May?
Like mid to late May.
Okay, we were hitting for May 13th.
That's really early for primary.
That's early?
Yeah. I mean, you can do it if you want. The ballots are going to be printed on May 22nd, 27th.
Okay,
So and it's the last day for write-in candidates on April 22nd. So there's gonna be a lot of maneuvering for this primary,
okay,
which you guys well know. And there's a lot of money shifting, like who are they gonna put on the ballot kind of thing. So we're not gonna go live until June, like 6th through the 10th, sometime around there. So to have invitations go out 4 weeks early is, I usually give them 2 weekends to respond. So 2 full
weekends.
2 weekends.
Okay. Because I was trying to give them 4 weeks, and this just not gonna work.
No, and the longer you give them, the more they'll forget, and you'll have to keep on sending reminders, because you really just want to send the invite, send one reminder, smile and dial, and you're done. You don't want to make more work for yourself than you have to.
Okay, so give them 2 weekends before June 6th.
Yep.
Okay.
And I'll be sending you out details, Carol, and invitation letters and all that stuff soon.
Okay, all right. I'm just trying to get the questions done right now, so.
That's the big thing. I was just going to say, there's 2 things you should be working on right now, and that's drafting your questions, and getting board approval of them.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
I did send out sample questions to my Vote 411 coordinators. Now that I know who the new voter service chairs are on the local leagues, I'll be sending them out to you guys too. But National has a very strict candidate question formatting, especially for Vote 411. And the reason for that, because you know there's always a reason, is Vote 411 is owned by the League of Women Voters. And we go out and we get support everywhere we can to get the news out about Vote 411. Like you might have noticed Target had it on their header if you shop online at Target. We do a lot of advertising, a lot of outreach nationally. John Oliver on last week talked all about Vote 411. I mean, we push very hard, but money-wise, we get grants from Google, large grants that put Vote 411 front and center on Google searches. And one year, back in 2010, Google withdrew their grant from us because they felt their questions were biased and leaning. And we never want to lose money again. And so there's a full question, like how to write questions, how to make them sound unbiased, shorter the better, all these good guidelines. It's a 2-pager, and I have a list of high quality questions you can ask candidates that are signed off on. So don't beat your head up against a wall for questions. Just reach out to me and I'll be more than happy to send you the info. The league has been around for over 100 years. We've got the info.
So if they would need that guide, you're going to send it out, or they need to request it from you, Kath?
It's in our toolkit as well.
Is
on the
it?
document library? Yeah.
Okay, then
Is
you
the
can
new
print
one?
that out when we get there.
Yeah, I'll resend it to you, Beth, to make sure it's the updated one with the recent questions,
Okay, good. Thank you.
because they've been updated. The magic is you just use the magic words, if any.
Okay.
That's the trick.
All
But
right.
I can talk to anyone who's writing questions to help you with that. Then we go on to the general election this fall, or coordinated election, I should call it. And just FYI, for those leagues that, for the primary, for those counties that don't have an active league, I will be seeing if there's any local county elections like sheriff or coroner or commissioner, to see if there's any primary elections out there. I pull all the sample ballots and we do that. But if your local league has a primary election, a contested or primary election locally in your county, and you don't have a current Vote 411 coordinator, please reach out to me and I'll be more than happy to work with you and get that up and running on Vote 411. I just need the info. And Larimer County is not on this call, right?
No, I
see
didn't see them.
Yeah, okay. They've done a big push on Spanish. Colorado was a test pilot 2 years ago to put a Spanish voter guide on Vote 411.
Right.
And our entire election information section on Vote 411 is available in Spanish since then. And Larimer County has been instrumental in translating all their questions for candidates and having candidates respond in Spanish if it's optional.
We do that too. Yeah.
Yeah, and Boulder too. Thank you, Carol. And the response has been really successful. I have reached out to State League to find out if we have a translator available, because we're going to need one for definitely the fall election. I wasn't going to work on the primary that hard for translation just because of the tight time frame. But we definitely need one for the fall. So.
Yes, no problem. Expecting that. And I'm also working with El Seminario Paper, talking about a partnership to both further distribute ballot issues as well as translate.
Okay, great. And we can partner with them on Vote 411 too. We just need to get Megan, our national director, involved.
Okay, cool. But we do have a short list of translators in the voter services resources list of stuff on the LWVCO document library. I'll be talking more about that in just a minute.
Thank you. What else do you guys need to know about Vote 411 for now?
Is there any questions from any of the voter service coordinators?
I have a question for Kath.
Hey, Rob.
Hi. Does Vote 411 ever ask for a biography, a short biography of the candidates?
Yeah, there's bio questions that we have, and background is one of them.
Okay, because I submitted questions to you for our local election.
Mm-hmm.
I totally did not include a bio. And so some of our voters were saying, where's the bio? And I'm like, all right. So,
well, if they go on Vote 411 and under candidate information, if you open up the little negative sign to a plus, the bio will be there.
So
you got to pull up a ballot. You got to have candidates.
I see. Okay, so when they were invited by 411 to submit their answers, it included a bio?
Yep.
Okay, so the voter, when they put their address in and look at the ballot, they have to hit that plus.
Well, let me show you. I'll pull it up. And in the meantime, hold on. Let me see if I can pull one up here. Am I allowed to share?
Oh, I guess I got it. Where are you, Pam?
Yeah, I have a share screen on me, so I think I can. Let me pull it all the way up.
Okay.
Hold on, let me get my screen. Let's see. Yeah, they didn't fill it out. So that could be why. Let me share screen real quick here. See the way it says biographical information between your two candidates for Estes Park Board of Trustee.
Right.
only the information that they typed in will appear. So
I see.
you'll see like there's a campaign address on this one side, but there's website, Facebook, and campaign address on the other. That's because Marie did not provide us with the website or Facebook, and neither provided with any background information.
But do they ever get a question that says,
Yeah.
feel free
and
to, you know, expand on your background or your,
let's see if I can, I gotta log in. I haven't logged in yet, so that'll take a while. There is the biographical information is preset for the state of Colorado. And yes, there's a background, and it's like 300 characters. So you can put in there anything you want. If you want to put it that you have a BA, if you want to put that you're a member of the fire department, if you want to put whatever you want to say.
okay, so it's really, one of the things I could do is encourage our candidates to fill that out.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
And I can add it to the instruction part in that lower invite part of the letter, Rob. So let me make a note of that.
That would be great.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
I will stop sharing here. Is that?
Kath, I mean, I have a question that it seemed like, it was a couple of years ago, that you said that if we had ballot issue forums or candidate forums, that we could put them or post them on 411. Can we still do that? And how and when is that done?
Yeah, that's a great question. And yes.
I don't do 411. Thankfully, I have somebody helping me, but I think it's a good thing if you want to promote your different activities.
Like here is a sample. This is another state, but here's the candidate debate videos. Because, you know, so many of us are doing the live event, which would be on the calendar, which would be over voter guides. And that's where we put, by the way, that's where we put our ballot issue pamphlet. And then candidate debate videos are here, and it's based on the address that you put in. So again, it's all personalized to the voter. But yeah, all the videos are here. And then what we do here in Colorado is for the specific election, if there was a video of that particular race, we also put it in the race description.
Okay. Excellent. Well, I think you need to remember to use that or ask for your help, because I think it's a good way to promote and advertise not only what you're going to do, but maybe what you've already done. If you video or, you know, recorded those forums.
Anything that you're sharing with voters, you share with me. That's the rule of thumb. Because whether it's a pamphlet, whether it's a PDF, whether it's a video, whether it's an upcoming forum, a debate, anything.
Excellent. And one of the things I know Kath has helped me with, because we've tried to get up here in Greeley-Weld, PSAs out and to promote 411. She also has the JPEGs to put on your website. She also knows how to get all that media stuff from the National League. And lastly, I was going to ask you, we had some Vote 411 bookmarks that we used at our voter registration events, education events. So do you know how they can get some of those things if they're just getting started or they don't have those kinds of resources?
Two things. Hold on one sec. First off, Beth, do you want to tell them what we have at the office?
I think we just have a bunch of buttons right now.
And then I think there's like are they tablecloths with Vote 411 on them? Is that what we thought those?
We used to have a flag too that we could put up.
Yeah, and we do, I think, have some sort of banner.
Yeah.
Yes, we do. There's at least the big that was mentioned.
Yeah, national last year, and a bunch of postcards.
Right, I had the postcards too.
Last year, at the end of last year, National reached out to all the voter service chairs across the state, well, across the country, and said, hey, does anybody want Vote 411 promo material? And I responded, hell yeah, like send it. Well, never heard from them. Of course, was out of town and 6 boxes ended up on my front porch.
Oh,
Like cases. And so we brought them down and I gave them to Beth and Laura. And I know we're doing virtual convention, but maybe for national convention, we can try to get those to the Colorado people too. Beth and I haven't come up with a distribution plan for those yet.
Okay.
But we'll take inventory of what's at the state league office and get that better
organized.
let you guys know. In the meantime, I just highly recommend using logos and QR codes and just signing your name, vote41.org, or using the logo on everything you produce. You don't have to make a special bookmark or product or bus sign if you don't want to. Just make it part of your league messaging in everything you do, starting after we go live with the primary, because that's the key. You don't want people going in looking for their ballot info and coming up with nil. So vote for 1-1 messaging really comes down to timing.
Right.
And
So mark those dates on your calendar big time. So
and
you
then
know.
If I can share the screen one more time, I want to show you guys National came up. They are working so hard to try to get things up and running. Hold on. This is the Vote 411 resource toolkit that's in league management on LWV.org. And I want to show you the table of contents. Here is all about Vote 411, online guide. The manual just got updated. This is just brand new, by the way. Promotions, here's the videos, here's the branding standards, here's the social media and press, here's the promotional materials, pressure campaign for candidates. We've got a ton of videos that you can post on social media that are like less than 2 minutes long that tell voters you deserve to hear from your candidates. Tell them to respond. QR codes and widgets, and then an entire social media guide. And it also goes in more about the software, the background, how to get started, and then all the training and resource tools for training and how to do the administrative side. And then here is the sample candidate questions.
Okay.
And these are excellent questions, you guys. These are really down and dirty, but they don't lean, which is what we need.
Excellent. Excellent.
So
that cuts our work in half.
Yeah, I'll send this link to you. I'll put it in the chat right now, but I'll also send it along with other stuff.
Maybe your name and contact information just for some of the newer people.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, Kat. That's great. She does a great job on this. She knows it inside and out. She'll be there to help you, support you. And it's really one of the best tools we have for helping educate voters. And I've had a lot of people compliment us on how it all works and how well it works. So with that being said, since we're working on resources, well, let's talk about candidate forums and some of the resources we have available to all of you. Some of you may be familiar with them, some of you may not, but Beth is going to show us the resource library and where that information is for candidate forums. And then we'll talk a bit about these kinds of forums, debates versus forums, and how we define that.
Great. Thanks, Barb. Okay. Here's the LWVCO homepage. And once you sign in as a member, this members tab pops up. And if you go to documents, you will find a number of resources here. One thing to note if there's a file folder next to it, you need to click the file folder, not the title, to see the subfolders underneath. So when you click voter services or voter service resources, you can get in and see 18 different resources here. A short list of translators, the 2022 election calendar, unbiased questions for voter guides. Then a subcategory is candidate forums. There are more resources specifically around candidate forums. So we're continually updating and adding. We encourage you to as well. But that's how you find the resources that are on our website.
Okay,
Now,
thank you.
Barb.
Yeah, thank you, Beth. And I'd also recommend, if you have a rainy day and have some time, just go to that document library and click through those resources. Look at the ones that you think might be helpful to you. You can download them as documents to your desktop. And I print out a lot of them just because it's easier to read as a hard copy. But familiarize yourself with what resources we have there and also how they might be able to help you.
And if there are gaps, if there's information that you need that you can't find, let us know and we'll do our best to track it down for you and get it up in those toolkits.
You know, and as I was listening to people talk about things they're doing, I don't think we have much information on working with high schools. So if you have some, you know, a kit that you use or toolkit that you put together on how you work with high schools, it would be nice to have some information about the whole process of working with voter registration in jails. You know, there are a lot of topics I heard you talk about, so it'd be nice to get some resources in there that would help other people. But certainly you can contact each other and share those resources as well. But if we can gather them and put them up on the state, then everybody has easy access to them. Recently, and I don't think we've sent this out, but I don't know that we have information currently in our folders, but the LWVS sent out some updated information on candidate forums and what the difference is between a forum and a debate, and some FAQs on what that might mean in terms of how you conduct those type of events. I will say, for as long as I've been involved with League, we have stuck pretty close to doing what we call candidate forums. They may be also, and they come in different kinds of formats. One of the people mentioned candidating. Sometimes you have things called meet and greets. I think we all have some different ways that we do things depending upon how many candidates. I think one time we had 18 candidates for school board, and it was impossible to do a candidate forum. So we went with meet and greet, which is just, you know, allowing people to give 3 minutes to tell us about what they are and then get out in the audience and talk to individuals. But it's come up between, there are some federal communication rules. There are some rules associated with our 501c3, oftentimes on how we conduct events, especially debates. I've steered completely away from debates. I think, I don't know, I'm a good moderator, I think, but I really don't want to get caught up in a debate. To me is when the candidates are going back and forth at each other and responding and getting so many minutes to give their reply and go back and forth. Whereas to me, a forum is where we give every candidate a certain amount of time to everybody to respond to the same question. They can use their time however they want, but they're not interacting with each other. They're just providing information on their positions related to issues and how they want to, you know, change things or what things they want to do if they want to get on city council or school board or whatnot. and we keep it pretty tight. We do have a candidate participation policy that was adopted in 2018 at the state level. And that was under the leadership of Jerry Cummins. And a lot of people wanted some kind of policy. So what happens if somebody doesn't show up? Does that mean we have to cancel the candidate forum and so on and so forth? And that really puts the people who want to participate at a disadvantage. And it's only recently that we've had a lot of problems with candidates not wanting to participate or not showing up at the last minute after they've committed to doing so. And sometimes it's just an emergency. So what do you do if you have an empty seat? And our policy and our guidelines say that you can go ahead and conduct that event with one person, with a caveat that they can send somebody to do an opening and closing statement from their campaign for the missing candidate, or the moderator can read those statements. And I did that in last year's election. There's somebody who could not attend and I read his opening and closing statements. So it's important to have a set of guidelines and expectations and rules that are shared with the candidates ahead of time. It's important that every candidate signs those rules and turns them into the moderator before you start, so everybody is on the same page. I'm thinking if we need to have some kind of a just work on candidate forum, event, so we can get clear on what and how everybody's handled it. One of the things that has come up with the National League is that when you are broadcasting some of these, now most of us have done them in person, but now in often cases we've been doing it on TV or radio or cable channels, and there might be some different rules that apply, especially if you're conducting a debate. I don't think we have time to go through all of this. I guess put questions in the chat if you have them. I'd like to spend some more time and do some more research so I can give you, we can talk about clearer guidelines on what that is. And there also might be some issues related to the FCC rules and regs related to doing it via Zoom. We don't know that yet. We don't have anything that says that we can't do it, but I think we need to get some questions answered on this whole idea. So I'd like to get Beth and Laura, one of you, we can get these links to the National League website on the FAQs about candidate forums and debates and the FNQs. So people can look them over and we can get back to our, voter service coordinators later this summer when we kind of have our ducks in a row on it. But I just wanted to raise those issues.
Yeah, those are already in our candidate forum toolkit.
Okay, good. Okay, is there any comments or questions? Burning questions on that, I guess?
I have one that I was just about to type in.
Uh-huh.
I'm concerned about the effects of the lawsuit on our ability to get certain candidates to participate in our events. They're going to see, oh, League of Women Voters, they're suing us and not participate. Have you guys given any serious thought to that or guidelines?
We don't currently have any guidelines on that. I mean, we are suing 3 specific people. None of those are running for office that I know of. But of course, they're closely associated with a few who are, like Tina Peters. But we can sure look for some language for you, Ruth.
Just like, the Patriots, the Southern Poverty Law Center says that the Patriots are a statewide hate group. And there are some in Pueblo County and probably in other counties too. And like I told you guys, I encountered a member of that group who said, oh, you're the group that's suing us. So, that's what it may be 3 people, but it's really more than 3 people.
Sure. Sure. Yeah, I get what you're saying. We will, you'd like some talking points, it sounds like.
I'm just concerned that they won't show up. If they've got a candidate running for office, that candidate will not show up to our events because they feel like we're suing their supporters.
It's possible, and it's possible. I mean, I know that for a while now, frankly, we've had trouble getting Republicans to show up. And you're talking about extremist Republicans. So yeah, I don't know, but we will work with our lawyers to get you all some talking points on that. But otherwise, you know, we do have an empty chair policy. We do suggest that you all have, you know, look at having security at any in-person events. And if you need help there, we're very, please reach out. But yeah, not just our forums, but any forums these days have the potential to be really divisive.
Yep, I really would like to have, you know, a Zoom just focused on candidate forums. I see some good questions in the chat I think we could address. I will say recently, well, I did a candidate forum up in Windsor last fall, and it was very contentious. It was a school board meeting, but not only was contentious, we had mask issues along with it. And those of us who didn't wear masks were up on the stage, but the school district had given us permission. Well, neither is here nor there. I mean, we did need to have police present. So I think we need to talk about security and a lot of other issues that I think we may be confronting this year that we haven't had in the past. And I have, even if, I don't know, I think this question about things that are factually true and untrue, I think we need to process that as well. One candidate did try to do a rebuttal, but I said no. I didn't even know what it was, but I think once you open up the door and I don't know, it just is very contentious in my part of the state. So you always want to keep as tight a reins on things as you can, but there's going to be some other things coming up that I don't think we've had come up before. So I think we should take some time, come back to that when we have some answers and some guidelines. But we will do that. Ballot issues. We're working on a timeline for ballot issue measure, you know, and the pamphlets and all that. What we can say is that they will be done by Making Democracy Works Day, which is September 24th. So that's always an important date. I think those two, Making Democracy Works and when do the ballots go out in the fall? And, and plus, I guess, when do the ballots go out for the primaries?
And we will be offering, as we did last election, 2 different options where you can either, you know, buy printed pamphlets as usual, or you can opt to receive basically a Word document of the state ballot issues so that you can add local ballot issues in there, print out one document of local and state ballot issues, and we'll help you out with the printing costs. We are looking at other ways of doing vote for one or ballot issues as well, trying to take advantage of the information that will already be in Vote 411. And kind of easing the research that volunteers have to do. So, but we'll be in touch about that as we get that figured out. We will be holding more meetings.
Yep, and maybe Beth, why don't you? We do know that there's one initiative that's already been approved for circulation, or has it been approved for the ballot?
It's
can't
been
remember.
approved for the ballot.
Okay.
Do you want me to jump down there?
Yeah, let's do those while we're here. And I don't know,
Okay.
Chris was going to help with that too.
Well, do you want to talk about, you and Chris are supposed to talk about voter registration and get out the vote before I talk about citizen initiatives, but whatever.
Okay. All right. All right. I'll go there.
Great.
I'm just going to say, Chris, do you have anything? What does your group do for voter registration?
I usually work with Ann and what our partner name, Ann? Jeanette. I usually work with them with voter registration and stuff like that. I go around to I have 2 days next week to go to the jails with Ann, them, and whatever other days that we go in Denver to the different hospitals and do voter registrations.
Okay, that's one. I would just, many of the people who have worked in this area before have pretty good ideas of how they use that creatively. That may be another just special focus meeting on voter registration. As you well know, many of our voters are already registered, and it's awful easy here in Colorado to get registered. But I still think voter registration, voter education in combination are excellent activities to do, especially as summer events start opening up. We take advantage of, and Cinco de Mayo is just around the corner, that there's a lot of, holidays and events that we are on the lookout for. We take our voter registration to naturalization events and sign up people who have become new citizens of the United States. We're always helping with people who have moved or had a change of address, or maybe if their voter registration has lapsed. So it's an opportunity, I think, to be visible in the community and develop good relationships and partnerships.
It's not intimidating
No.
to people. It's a
And-
good way to start a conversation.
Right. And I don't know, we're going to be working this spring. There's a group down in Erie who wants to help collaborate with us, a Latinx group. So, I mean, it's a good way to do partnerships and to, give League a shout out and also hear some good things back, because people always stop by and say, we really appreciate League. And as a kid, we need a girl pat on the back, but keep that in mind. And it's always a nice way to get new members involved, to go out and promote the League and help promote voting and have a conversation with the electorate. I think we could probably talk a lot about it, but for the newer people, I just wanted to make sure that you maybe that's a good place to start. Vote 411 and voter registration, and ease into some of all these other activities that take a lot of time and preparation, like candidate forums and ballot measure presentations. Those are a little bit more involved to train the people that you're going to go out and do it. And I think we could probably help with that too. Anybody have some interesting things that you do along the lines that might be new or different with voter registration in your leagues?
Or get out the vote?
Or get out the vote. I heard somebody talk about their get out the vote.
Yeah, particularly, reaching out to underserved communities.
We had our leadership team meeting this morning, and we're thinking about having some yard signs made instead of supporting one candidate or another. Just have something to the gist of get out the vote, just to remind people to get out to vote one way or the other.
Are there vote 411 yard signs, Kath? Do you know?
There's graphics for them.
Okay.
Register to vote ones, and I think cast your vote ones. I'd have to double check, but I know there's a register to vote 411 because we drive people to vote 411 to look up how to register. But the other piece that Jeffco focused on when we were talking about that circle of five, but we also reached out to Food Bank and like the Jeffco Action Center, which supports the underprivileged and those that need assistance, is we listed out Dropbox locations by neighborhood and printed out pieces of paper, and they included them with the food bank stuff, like where to drop their ballots off.
Good.
And that was really embraced by the food bank and by the organizations. And we even, Karen, do you remember if we did it with church organizations too? You're on mute, babe.
Unmute. We did try churches. There were some that were happy to receive information. There were a few that did not want to for various reasons. So, and the feedback, what I'm remembering now is we also, I think, came up with a list of neighborhoods. And the purpose was to figure out who had moved recently. So if they needed to change their information, we could help them do that or encourage that. I'm just, this is generating my memory now that I thought, well, we did some stuff.
Yeah, we reached out to real estate agents.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, that and Larimer County did that as well.
Yeah, and we had a letter writing campaign. It wasn't like a letter, it was like a postcard that each unit, because Jeffco, we're set up by units because Jefferson County is so long and big.
Yep.
We had 6 units, and so we broke it up regionally.
Right. Yeah, beyond that, my memory's not as good as it used to be. So I'm sure I'll come up with some stuff after this meeting. So.
I get that. Robin.
Sure. One of the things we did is we took the Vote 411 pamphlets and we made a special local insert, which was a 1/3 page. So it could be printed, 3 times and then cut in thirds. It was back and front, and it explained the local districts, which are very confusing to people here because we have elections for the town proper. Then we have elections for the Estes Valley, and that includes things like school board and fire department and the rec department and the health department, the hospital. And we had them translated also into Spanish to go into our Spanish, Your Voice, Your Vote. And did I say Vote 411? I meant Your Voice, Your Vote. And we hand those out to realtors, to other community locations, at our voter registration drives in the library. People seem to really like that. So that's one idea that we had.
Excellent, thank you. I think we can work some more on finding some strategies for get out the vote. I'd like to do that, as well as, some creative ideas for reaching out to people. And I will say, I think we're going to have to do a lot of education because of all the redistricting this year. So any way you can help people understand what their new districts are and who they may be voting for, that will be a big help to everybody. All right, I think we have some updates that we just wanted to give you on things that are happening around us so that you can follow what's going on and be informed.
Okay, we've already touched on our litigation. That is our lawsuit against the US election integrity plan that was filed in early to mid-March. We did ask for a temporary restraining order, and that was denied. However, the plaintiffs asked, for the case to be dismissed, and that was also denied. So that's where we are. We are moving forward slowly but surely, and we'll continue to be in touch as we know more. But it's each side is trying to get the other to stop, basically. Any questions there? Okay. We also do have, in case the Parable lawsuit is appealed, it doesn't look like it will be. We do have a pro bono firm standing ready so that we can join, be like Brenda and file an amicus brief. So, but the USCIP lawsuit is our big one. At our March meeting, the Board of Directors of the League of Women Voters of Colorado voted to begin taking a position on citizen initiatives when they are first cleared for signature gathering. In the past, we have waited until things have gotten onto the ballot. We've decided we might as well start promoting or opposing early. And we do have a number of initiatives that one has already been approved for the ballot, and many are approved for circulation. So the state income tax reduction, number 31, is the one that's already on the ballot. In line with league positions, we oppose any reduction in, that would cause a reduction in services. Number 54 is incredibly complex and has been trying to get on the ballot for about 3 years now. I can give you more information on that, but the board did vote to oppose. Number 56, unlawful murder of a child, as opposed to the lawful murder. We did vote to oppose that. Shockingly, it's, an anti-abortion bill. We took no position on number 58, access to natural medicine. The league doesn't have a strong position there. Also, number 61, the legal possession of ethniogenic plants and fungi, no position there. We are supporting additional dedicated revenue to the state education fund. This will be included in board briefings that will go out tomorrow. So you will get this in writing.
And I'll just say, I haven't read number 54 on petitions, but through the conversation, it was really to disrupt this whole initiative process and turn it inside out and upside down with no rhyme or reason for what they were proposing to do. So if you want to go check it out, that's fine, but it was really a disruptor of our current process.
Yes, anti-democratic disguised as something else. But we will have links in board briefings tomorrow so that you can get to the actual text.
Oh, great. Thanks, Beth.
You bet.
What I wanted to mention recently, it came out in our program review process, that Boulder County, under the leadership of Celeste Landry, wants to do a study locally in their league, but she's looking for people who are interested in this, and many of you might be, about the study on the timing of municipal elections. Many of you may understand with your municipal elections, some are held in the spring, and others of us have the coordinated elections in the fall, and it's kind of all over the map.
And turnout is low, as Kath already
turnout is
mentioned.
low. So they really want to study, the efficacy of whether or not it's a good idea to, put the elections together in the fall, or, why were they done this way? And how easy is it to change it? But if you are interested in that, I guess either put your name in the chat, or do that, and we'll see if we can get you linked up with, she hasn't started it, she's just getting a group together, but she has a lot of information and research that she's done to date. But I know that we all are representing different counties from around the state, and I think we have a whole lot of different situations related to the timing of municipal elections.
Yeah. Molly, are you able to talk about a Pikes Peak Region's lawsuit? I'm sorry, Molly, you're muted. Yeah, you're still muted, Molly.
Okay,
there
how
we
about
go.
now? Okay. I think they're gonna file about May 9th. This is with the Harvard Business School Clinic, a student project on elections. And we're not supposed to talk about it, I don't think, until it's filed. Although we have discussed it in our admin team, and we had some that abstained from voting for it. I think there were 4 of us for it and 2 abstained for the filing, and that they felt it would disrupt some things, our relationship with our city council. So when that comes out, it does relate to the April election time frame. So I think their research, and it's all pro bono, will really help if anybody else is interested in changing those elections.
Excellent. I'm sorry to put you on the spot there, Molly, especially if you aren't if we're not supposed to be talking about it yet. Everybody mum's the word. But we will get more info to you about that. And if you are interested in talking to Celeste and the Boulder County team about this study,
Right.
It could be pretty interesting.
Right. Yeah, they've done a lot of research on it. So they have information from past history of the voting. And it's a discrimination is what they're looking at, more than the cost and other inconveniences of the spring elections.
Cool, great.
What do you want me to put in the chat? My email or?
No, really, if anyone is interested in working with the Boulder County team on their study, please put your email in the chat and we'll get it to them.
Okay.
Barb, do you want to talk about the current, or Karen, to the current status of the election security position?
I'll defer to Karen.
Absolutely, I would love to do that. We, as you all know, the election security position was approved by Colorado League membership, and we are now in the process of getting things laid out so that we can take it to National Convention for concurrence. I am very sad to report that LWVUS chose not to support this position. We are trying to find out, they indicated that there were apparently other leagues that submitted requests for support for documents that had to do with election security. We're trying to find out what those were. When we touched base with them to find out why they chose not to support it, the response was twofold. Number one, we already have something, which is basically a very limited position that simply says that the league supports the right of every eligible voter to be able to vote. And there's a minor resolution that has a little bit to do about election security. Resolutions aren't nearly as strong as positions are. And they also said that they had an issue with accessibility. Those of you that attended any of the informational meetings, I'm sure they were referring to the section in our position paper where we talked about the fact that in those rare instances, such as military, overseas citizens, members of the disabled community who had no other way of returning their ballots, that internet return should be only used in those cases, that there is substantial support in the tech community that the internet is not a really safe, secure place to use for returning ballots. There are some times when that's the only way that a voter is able to vote. And so because we want to empower voters, we believe that it's important in those instances that people be able to vote that way. However, we also believe that it should be limited only to those select groups so that it doesn't jeopardize the election as a whole. So we're trying to get some additional information, but we are moving forward, and we are reaching out to leagues across the United States to ask that when they come to convention, that they please be prepared to support us. The request that I would make of you, because I suspect that many of you know league members in other states, we'll be getting some language out probably within the next few days to our membership, asking you to reach out to your friends, family, colleagues, and other leagues in other states to ask them to look at our position and then consider supporting it, particularly those people who are going to be delegates to the convention. If you have questions, if you will check out the league's website, there is a whole section where you can find information on the position and contact information if you need additional information. And you can certainly reach out to me anytime as well. I'll put my email in the chat in case you all don't know what it is, because we're more than happy to answer questions or address any concerns. And I think that's it, unless somebody
Okay.
has
All right.
that you'd like to ask.
Okay. Thank you, Karen.
And last but not least, we do have copies of your voice, your vote, and send a message in the office, ready when you are. Of course, send a message will be due for a major overhaul after the November election, but it is still valid for, a few more months. So English and Spanish, they're also available on the website if you just want to print them out there on your own. If you're in a rush, that is an option.
There's one thing I wanted to mention when we're back to, that I know Larimer County last year, 2 years, I think it was during the pandemic, but they came up, they printed these out, and this is a magnet that goes on your car.
Oh, that's cool.
And they sold it, they sold them for fundraisers. I think we sold them for $10. But they also had yard signs printed up the same way and used them for fundraisers. So and I think Barbara Hansen is the voter service coordinator up in Larimer County. Maybe we can get some information. I don't know if they're still doing it, but they're pretty cool. And I bought this for my car, and a lot of people complimented us in the fact that we actually had a nonpartisan yard sign, and we were advertising and just promoting people to vote. So, we're talking about that earlier. I went and grabbed that out of my garage. And I think, Beth, you were going to tell them something about high school voter registration on the Secretary of State website.
Oh, I put the link in the chat box. The Secretary of State does have an award program that I hope you all know about, the Eliza Pickrell Route Award. Hold on, I will pull it up. But basically, any high school senior class that achieves at least 90% voter registration, they receive the Eliza Pickrell Route Award, and it's kind of a big deal. Oh, 85% or more, excuse me. So this is a great tool to get into high schools and get them to register their seniors. I'll put this in the chat box again.
Okay, thank you. And I know we've really run a little late. I don't know if there's any burning questions or anything that anybody would either like to ask. If we don't have time, we can schedule another meeting. As I said, I think we're going to need some follow-up meetings in the next few months, but are there any burning questions?
Chris, is there anything you want to add?
Yeah, that's what I was next.
No,
Okay.
I'm trying to listen and learn.
Okay.
Okay.
Good. Thank you for doing this. It really is helpful.
Oh, you're well, it's so good to see everybody. I'm really excited about all of you on the front lines out there doing this hard work. And I think we're gonna have some challenges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the only thing I'm gonna do, I see this always when I watch, I can't remember, SWAT, keep your head on a swivel. I think there's a lot going on these days. So really, if you need help or you see something that's not quite copacetic, let us know. Let's stay on top of us. Let's keep this election going fair and square. I'm have great confidence in our clerk and recorders and the things that they're doing to keep our elections secure. But our voters need to know that too, and they need to know that we support the clerks and recorders in all that they do. So we're here to help. We're here to support. Thank you for your time this afternoon. We'll get back to you on some loose ends. Yes.
Where's this recording stored?
On the league's state league's YouTube channel. We'll send it to everyone who attended today.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, well, thank you for your time. Thank you for all your work. Keep us posted on how we can help. And I guess we're off and running for the 2022 election season.
Y'all are the
Thank
best.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good night.
Hey, Beth,
Yeah.
can you send me a list of emails for this invite group?
Yes.
Can you just like forward me a message or something? 'Cause I think it was BCC.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I wonder how I can do that. I'll figure out how to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not anything, I don't need it for another week.
Okay.
But I just noticed that they're like the San Juan Louis Valley people, I don't have them.
Great.
But I did get Molly Williams from Pikes Peak. But I think it's only the San Luis Valley people I need.
Okay.
So whenever.
Okay,
But
great.
thank you.
You betcha.
Bye. Take
Okay.
care, guys.
You too. Bye-bye. Have a good night.
Hey, really quick question. I don't know if Chris is still there, but
I'm here.
Brenda. Oh, hi. I mean, this question is not for you, Chris. It's for Beth, actually, but Brenda Mensink asked me if we're still accepting signups for the annual meeting.
Yes.
Cool. Okay, awesome. Thanks.
We don't
Are you-
really have a deadline until
Okay.
probably, I mean, hell, we don't have a deadline.
Okay, right on.
Yeah.
That's good to know. Thank you for letting me.
I mean, since it's virtual,
Right,
it
yeah.
doesn't matter,
That
when
was
we're dealing with
definitely-
catering and stuff like that. Mhm.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, that's great. Okay, cool. I think that's all I wanted to ask you right now at the moment.
Okay. Alrighty.
So we meeting at 11 tomorrow?
Let's see, we've got, well, I have, let's see, LAC in the morning. So yeah, let's plan on that. Then we've got that training for the soft edge at 12:30.
I'm like kind of weirdly excited about that.
Oh,
Just because I don't know. I think it'll be interesting and hopefully helpful.
I should never wear this lipstick again.
Why? It's beautiful.
Okay, well, anyway, have a good night.
Thank you, you too.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.